This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
It's time for the First Community Credit Union Blues postgame show.
Presented by Scott Lee Heating Company and Urban Chestnut Brewing Company on 101 ESPN.
Far side wired on. Bennington saw that slap shot from D'Angelo coming the whole time. Good check on the near side by Cizikas. Islanders again with a 2-on-1. Drive in the net. Bennington to make the save. The puck at the goal line. Now to Matthew Barzal at the line. Back to Durant. What? Right through Bustad and a shot. Saved by Bennington. Islanders into the blue zone. Barzal near wing and toe save. Bennington with a beauty keeping the Islanders out of the net. Blues up 2-1. Horvat to Schaefer to Horvat. Shot on. Glove save. Bennington again. Save number 28.
And maybe no bigger than that one right there.
I mean, Jordan Binnington was massive in this one tonight. Massive for the Blues so that they could pick up the win, because not only were you dealing with the penalty kill in the late moments of this hockey game, on top of that, it was essentially a two-man power play because you had the goaltender pulled, and it was over 2 minutes. It was like 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 4 seconds for the remainder of the period, which would have carried over into overtime if the Islanders would have scored. And mind you, they still would have had a power play once overtime opened up, but they kill off that penalty. They hold on to the lead. And what made it even bigger was that they moments ago gave up the goal to make it 2-1. That was a confidence booster, or at least it should be a confidence booster for the Blues. And a lot of it is thanks to their goaltender, Jordan Binnington. Welcome everyone into our fourth period. Extended post-game coverage here on your home for the Blues 101 ESPN. Along with our producer, Jordan Deacon, I'm Alex Ferrario. 2-1 final as the Blues finally hold on to the lead and snap their losing streak. It stops at 4 games. And the Blues have a chance to make it a really good road trip to potentially go 3-0-2 with their final 2 games against the New York Rangers and the New Jersey Devils. But let's talk more about this one. We're going to hear from Braden Shen and Pavel Buchnevich coming up in just a little bit. We'll hear from Jim Montgomery in our next segment. Also have our final look, but let's dive right into our takeaways tonight.
It's time for tonight's 3 takeaways, presented by Ted Drew's Frozen Custard, a St. Louis tradition for over 95 years. Unmatched quality, unforgettable taste.
You've got to start with the goaltender. I mean, the biggest takeaway in this game is how your goaltender wanted for you. I mean, look, this team's confidence had been broken. We've talked about this. We talked about it with JR in our pregame show. You know, he'd asked the question, how many more gut punches can this team take? And you were a little worried that anymore, and this team might be even more broken than what it felt like in terms of their confidence and their mental fragility. And you know, you don't blame the goaltender, or at least I don't blame the goaltender, of how these games have gone over these last few outings. It's been more the team hasn't played well in front of them. On top of all of that, the team has also really struggled to continue to push and capitalize on scoring chances, which can be made tonight. You know, the third period, they get only 5 shots on goal as they allow 14, and a lot of those shots, 5 of them came on the 2 power plays that the New York Islanders had. So you have to take that into consideration. But on top of all of that, you also look at the goaltender and how he performed down the stretch. And, you know, as the Islanders, they're continuing to add more and more shots on goal. The Islanders had 14 shots in that third period, which means Jordan Binnington stopped 13 of those 14, made some massive saves, and that's what they've been lacking. I'm not blaming the goaltender, like I mentioned, but you do need your goalie to make a big save to keep the confidence in check. And Binnington was that and more tonight. You know, in the first 2 periods, I feel like, and we'll get to this as the second takeaway, the Blues did a really good job of keeping things to the outside for the Islanders. They got more aggressive in front of the crease, specifically in the third period where Anders Lee scored that goal to make it 2-1. Man, other than that, Jordan Binnington seeing the pucks, killing the plays. They finally have their fallback option. You know, Doug Armstrong made the comment when the Blues were in the midst of that 7-game losing streak, and he told Bruce Boudreau on NHL Network, you know, we don't have a fallback for us when things aren't going well. Last year, it was Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer. The goalies were incredible while the team would make mistakes. Tonight, the team made mistakes. They had a total of 8 D-zone turnovers, gave up 2 odd man rushes, and gave up 7 high-danger scoring chances. But you can make those mistakes when your goalie is locked in. And Jordan Binnington was locked in tonight. Probably one of the best games that he has played this season, stopping all of the shots in the first 2 periods and then stopping 13 of 14, stopping 30 of 31 overall in this hockey game with a .968 save percentage. And that's on top of the Blues giving up a total of 10 high-danger scoring chances. That's the second takeaway for me, was defensively tonight. I know it doesn't sound like it because, as we mentioned, 10 high-danger scoring chances, 21 total scoring chances. But mind you, the scoring chances that the New York Islanders had, a lot of those came there late in the third period when the Blues were on the penalty kill. But overall, I think in the first 2 periods, the Blues did a really solid job of keeping things to the outside. Third period, not as much. They allowed the Islanders to kind of break in between their defensemen and get in front of the goaltender. But it did feel as if they killed some plays. Now, there were some sloppy moments by the Blues. To have 8 D-zone turnovers, you have to clean that up because this Islanders team is a good one, but those elite teams, they'll go out there and they'll make you pay on the mistakes, kind of like what Philadelphia did on Thursday night. But still, you look at defensively, I thought there were a couple of great kill plays, one by Dalibor Dvorsky, one by Pius Suter, one by Pavel Buchnevich late in the third period. You had multiple defensemen with a lot of blocked shots in this one. Colton Parayko had 3 of them. Justin Falk had 3 of them. Philip Broberg had 2 of them. And Broberg, by the way, played 27 minutes and 31 seconds. So a lot of ice time for number 6. But on top of all of that, the Blues did a really solid job of keeping their best players in check. Barzal, along with Palmieri and Lee, do pick up a goal. That's at that 6-on-5. But at 5-on-5, they have 0 points. And on top of all of that, the Matthew Schaefer, who we talked a lot about in pregame, had 5 shot attempts, had 1 giveaway, 1 hit, and 2 blocked shots, and played over 27 minutes and did not pick up a point. Did allow him to be +1. He was on the ice for that first goal by the Islanders. But overall, Blues kept the best players off of the score sheet at even strength. And then the final takeaway for me tonight was Pavel Buchnevich specifically. I just saw a message that came in that said, Pavel Buchnevich is about to break out. That line looks so good, and it feels like Buch has his groove back. We're going to hear from Pavel Buchnevich in just a couple of moments, but Pavel Buchnevich did not have a lot of offense tonight. No shot attempts, had 1 blocked shot, and played close to 19 minutes. You might look at that and you say, yeah, but Alex, you were complaining about the lack of shot attempts from Pavel Buchnevich a couple of games ago. You're right, I was. But that game, I didn't feel like Pavel Buchnevich was noticeable at all. Tonight, he was noticeable. Defensively, he was breaking up plays. Joey mentioned it in that third period, how he was fighting in front of the net. He was winning those puck battles. It just he couldn't get that second chance. Sorokin did a really good job of eliminating rebounds, but he picked up the assist. And that line, to me, feels very confident. Pavel Buchnevich and Dalibor Dvorsky, Braden Shen tonight. Let's see what Natural Stat Trick has them at. They were at a 42% Corsi rating, which for those that don't know, Corsi rating is measuring puck possession, how much you have the puck in the offensive zone, scoring a chance, shot attempts. They had 3 total scoring chances for, and then 3 scoring chances against. So kind of an even split there. They were the second best line that played in this hockey game tonight, second only to Pius Suter, Dylan Holloway, and Jordan Kyrou, of course, who had the goal, had 13 scoring chances and 5 high-danger scoring chances. Robert Thomas's line, 44% Corsi rating, with 3 scoring chances, 4 and 5 against. So they had the toughest matchup against that top line, did allow the most scoring chances of any line. But Pavel Buchnevich specifically does feel like the game that potentially he could start to break out with. It feels like the game you could start to gain your confidence. Yes, the goals aren't coming, but you picked up an assist. Your line scored a goal. Your line created and generated a lot of offense. And on top of all of that, you played an elite game defensively. I thought Pavel Buchnevich was great defensively, killed off a couple of plays, one specifically on the penalty kill there late in the third period where he had the puck and he turned and he whipped it around the boards to clear the zone. That's what you want to see from Pavel Buchnevich. So those are my Ted Drew's 3 takeaways. As always, we want yours. You can send them over on our YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL and our text line 314-399-9646. One other one that I wanted to toss in here was how good that penalty kill was late in the game and how massive it was to have the penalty kill late in the game. I know that sounds crazy to say, but if they're playing 5-on-5 with the goalie pulled, you really can't ice the puck. You didn't win the faceoff battles in this one. It was close. It was 19-20 wins in favor of the Islanders. But in terms of the defensive zone, the Blues were at 48% faceoff wins in their D zone tonight. So if that would have been 5-on-5 and not a penalty kill, you would have iced the puck a few times and you would have had to deal with what you've dealt with before of trying to win the faceoff and trying not to allow that shot from the point with chaos in front of the net. But instead, they're on the penalty kill. They win the battles. They put the puck down, and then you're resetting it. You're shaving 10 to 15 seconds off the clock. So a penalty kill that on the road this season has been really good for the Blues, which is so wild that their home penalty kill is the worst in the National Hockey League. But on the road, they're top 10. And tonight, you go 2 for 2 against the Islanders after going 1 for 1 against the Philadelphia Flyers and 3 for 3 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So on the road, your penalty kill has been helping you win some hockey games like it did tonight against the New York Islanders. So let's get tonight's soundbite of the night. And first, let's hear from Braden Shen.
The soundbite of the night is presented by Rocket Convenience Stores. Fuel your car and your daily cravings at Rocket Convenience Stores.
You guys have come out on the tough end of a lot of those games. What's it like to pull one of them?
Yeah, big kill at the end there. Bitter made great saves. I thought we were really good defensively all night, and then obviously they got a bounce there on the 6-on-5, but solid team effort and something to build off of.
I guess we'll talk to Monty here in a second, but how do you see that at the end? You get the high stick and...
honestly, I haven't seen the replay, but from what they're saying, he's falling and the puck's in the net, and we got a high sticking penalty, and there's a lot going on there. But at the end of the day, the Killers did a good job and got us the win.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about your line. Monty put you together last game. A lot of attempts last game. He didn't translate on the board, but you get that goal early today. Just kind of good start for the team? We've had many line combinations kind of throughout, and hopefully this gives us a little bit of stability. And I've always enjoyed playing with Bucci and Devo. He's smart, and trying to help him any way you can. And he's going to be a good player in this league for a long time. And try and help him. With any questions he has. And like I said, hopefully this gets us kick-started. But we actually feel like we're playing a lot better hockey. One, defensively, and two, just harder. And we slowly feel like we're building something here. Going back to Dvorsky, Monty said he thinks that you and Buchnevich like playing with him. What do you like about him?
He's just smart. He's in the right areas. Good in the battles, good details to his game, and easy to read off of. So, that's what makes it easy. And like I said, he's going to be a good player for a long time.
Yeah, and then you and Buch, I know you want to be on the board more, but that was a big goal, obviously. Is it nice to see a smile on his face?
Yeah. Obviously, like I said, we're not scoring a whole lot of goals out of the team, but at the end of the day, we got to win tonight. And as confidence grows here, more pucks are going to start going in. And confidence grows when one, you're getting chances. Guys are playing hard for one another, and doing what it takes to win hockey games, and guys will get rewarded after that.
There you go. That's Braden Shannon. He's not wrong. Since November 1st, the Blues were only averaging about 2.5 goals per game, which is ranked 10th, bottom 10 in the National Hockey League. They're right there with the San Jose Sharks and the Nashville Predators. But the goals allowed are starting to drop, which is a good sign for the Blues. And in the month of November, they're 3-3-4, now 4-3-4 with that win. And I would imagine those goals for are probably going to float around that same spot, but the goals allowed will go down thanks to Jordan Binnington's outing. Braden Shen also talked one Dalibor Dvorsky, where the praise just keeps coming in for this young centerman, which is a great thing for the Blues to see the development of a 10th overall draft pick. And I know a lot of you are excited over on the YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL talking about him. But I think there also should be excitement for Pavel Buchnevich, because we're going to talk about him at his lowest, which it's been this season. You need to talk about him at its highest. And it feels like Pavel Buchnevich is starting to get into the routine of things, gain some more confidence. And he talked with JR after the game.
Pav, how good does it feel to pull out a win like that?
Good team effort, kind of grinding game. Everybody battle hard, and we lately we start playing for each other. Doesn't give up that many chances against, so that's a good sign, and I think we're building something.
Kind of a crazy finish, but you guys held firm there.
Finally finished the game on the right note, so that's a good stuff. Hopefully we build from that.
How about the way Bennington played today?
He played great. He keep us in the game, make really good saves. Like always. You just have to play better in front of him to help him more.
How about the way the game started? They put together that line last game, and you guys have been playing well, including the Philly game. How good did it feel to get that game started with a goal like that?
It's great. Me and Shannon kind of sit and called up for a month probably, so I'm just happy he scored finally. I just need to find back in the net too, and I'm just happy for Shannon. And as a line, I finally feel like I'm a hockey player a little bit. Last couple of games, possess the puck, making plays. There's something to build for.
Monty said that you guys really like playing with Dvorsky. What do you like about that?
Confidence in himself. He win a face-off. I surprised for a young guy. He's so strong on face-offs and responsible defensively. And he listens and wants to learn. And we just try to help him on the ice with the talks. And he can make plays. He can shoot. We just good kid, wants to learn, and it's a positive sign,
And not just the goal, but you guys defensively against the Barzal line today. I think Barzal, no shots on goal, pretty good against them defensively.
Yeah, I don't think he's a shooter, so.
Right.
Overall, it's not about game, but I also feel it's much better for our line. But it's something to build for, and get ready for Rangers.
Sometimes that's all it comes down to, is you get confidence in one game, 2 games, in a line, in a player, and then you go from there. So I really hope for the team's sake that this is the turning point for Pavel Buchnevich, because the guy has been going through it. He just can't buy a goal. He got his first even strength point since October 13th, 17 games ago. So if that line can continue, and again, they were awesome tonight. Dalibor Dvorsky, 50% in the face-off dot, was the best of any centerman in the hockey game, going up against a pretty decent centerman who I think he matched up against that Barzal, as Jerry was talking about. But even if he didn't, if he went up against J.G. Pajot, won 44% of the face-off. So Dalibor Dvorsky continuing to build confidence, which hopefully is going to bring more of the best out of Pavel Buchnevich, which makes this team fix their lack of goal scoring problem, which hopefully can start to pile up some wins on their side of things. But the Blues overall win, 2-1 final as they take down the New York Islanders. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll have Jim Montgomery's post-game reaction and our final look as we close it down after a Blues victory on the road right here on your home for the Blues, 101 ESPN. You know, we got a couple of people over in our YouTube channel, which little light tonight, which I guess is because it's a win, right? They only want to come out when the losses happen and find my demise more than they want to come over here and celebrate a win. But I did see a couple in the YouTube channel that said Alex is just so excited to talk about a win, and it shows. And you're darn right I am. Because, man, has it been a rough start to the year. And, look, they're still picking up points, and I know that doesn't matter to a lot of people because points versus wins, the wins are more important where this team is at right now. But, I mean, you're 1-0-2 right now on this 5-game road trip. And if you can pull off of this road trip 3-0-2 with points in all 5 of those games, and then that would be points in 7 of the previous 8 games, you're feeling a little bit better about it. Are you feeling great? Absolutely not. But, man, think about this. 2 more wins before they come back home. That would be going right into Thanksgiving. And you'd be at 500 if you can do that. 500 record at Thanksgiving. Again, is it good? No, but you haven't buried yourself in the standings. And this is the hardest. Somebody just texted in and said, I'm always listening. I'm eating tacos right now, Ferrario. Hey, victory tacos. So they didn't score 5 goals, but maybe we'll get some victory tacos after 2 goals. But look, you can find a way to pull yourself out of it. That's what you hope this game was. You hope it was a confidence builder for the team. Am I skeptical? Yeah, and I think the Blues have done that to us to be skeptical, and you're right to be skeptical because the last time they got that big victory was 3-0 against the Buffalo Sabres, and they responded losing a 2-goal lead and then a 1-goal lead in the third period against Seattle, lost in a overtime, and then went on to lose the next 3 games. So, yes, skeptical. Jordan said it during the commercial break, and she's right. I need to see a couple more games strung together with wins before you can start to actually believe in it. But that's where you hope this road trip can turn it in the right direction. You heard Jim Montgomery say after the Philly game that they were playing for each other. You went on a long road trip. You hope that changed the tides a little bit. You get this win. This is a gritty win for the Blues, and I know people go, oh, yeah, dirty, gritty win for the Blues. It was, but you have to capitalize on it. We'll talk more about that in the final look, but now let's hear from Jim Montgomery.
It's time to hear from the head coach, Jim Montgomery, presented by Fisher Window and Door Store, offering quality American-made Marvin windows and doors. Visit their showrooms in Brentwood or East Alton, Illinois.
I was just talking to Brayden. You guys have come out on the tough end of a few of those late losses, but how good is that to finish off one like that?
Well, I felt great. I think that, the boys played really hard. It's 3 games in a row in this trip where, we could be undefeated, but we haven't been. But we've been resilient. We keep believing. We keep playing the right way. We got rewarded for it.
What'd you say on the play where they called the penalty on Falk and Tucson and that?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the supervisors. There's a couple of things like Falk gets run into, and that's why the goalie interference happens. I don't know how he's in control of his stick when he's. It looks like he's injured. He left the bench for a while because the way his head hit the ice, and then also the puck went in the net, so it's a play that's after the whistle had gone. So there's a couple of things I just want an explanation on. It's a tough game for the refs. We get that. Everything happens so fast. They got to call in real time.
So not much an update. He hit his head, and you don't know anymore at the moment, I guess.
No, he came back. He was fine.
Okay,
yeah. It was actually his upper back that stung. He lost his breath.
Hey, early in the game, you make the line change 11 seconds in. What led to that, putting Dvorsky on that D-zone draw?
It was just his power side. That's the side that he would win on. Thomas takes it on the other side. You just want to put centers in a good position to win draws, and when they're on their power side, the odds go up by 5%.
That line had so many shot attempts in the Philly game, but they convert, a goal early. How important was that, especially those guys?
Yeah, it's great to see the chemistry. I mean, it's 2 games in a row where they play really well connected together. They're reading off each other and making plays and supporting plays in all 3 zones.
And also the job they did defensively on the Barzal line today, pretty good.
Yeah, really good. They wanted the Barzal matched up against them, and I was perfectly comfortable with that because they're playing really well. And, the matchups they wanted, I was completely fine with. And that's when you have confidence in your team. Like, you just can roll out your lines and let them play.
Not to put too much focus on that line, but what led you to put them together a couple days ago? Maybe it was the last opportunity, like all the changes we've made. I don't know. It's what it does is Shen gives another center that's played in case 54, in case Devo's not back first, and then Bucci's one of our most reliable 2-way forwards. So we thought creates a line that's really balanced at both ends of the ice.
Nice to see a smile on Buchnevich's face.
Yeah, it's always nice to see a smile on that guy's face.
It's time to take a look back at tonight's game with the final look.
Driven by Pure Performance. Only stop for all your aftermarket vehicle needs.
Real quick, I saw somebody ask, they may have missed that Justin Falk update. Jim Montgomery said he kind of hit his back when he fell, lost his breath, was back on the bench there before the end of the period, so no concerns. He had to be helped off because he lost his skate blade. It wasn't an injury. He lost his skate blade. That's why they had to help him off the ice. They had to get that fixed, catch his breath. He was back out there, so that's good news for the Blues. Look, all of this positivity is great, but they've got to build off of it, and that's the final look. They played a really strong performance against an Islanders team that's really good offensively. They won 6 of their last 7 games when they were on the road, came in feeling good about themselves. The Blues did a very strong job of keeping the puck out of their net, keeping them outside of the high danger chances, and keeping the best scorers off the score sheet. They've got to build off of it, though, because every win we've seen, with the exception of the first 3 games of the season, the Blues have not built off of that win. They get a day off. They're in New York. Travel's not a problem. You got the Rangers on Monday, a Rangers team that's struggling. That's where you build. 1 comes into 2. You keep playing the same way. You hope that some of these players are breaking through on the confidence meter to start finding the back of the net more, and then potentially wrap up this road trip at 500 going into Thanksgiving, 3-0-2 in the 5 games where they were out on the road in the East Coast. So they'll prepare for the Rangers on Monday night, 6 o'clock puck drop, which means our pregame festivities begin at 5 o'clock right here in your home for the Blues, 101 ESPN. A huge shout out to Jordan Deacon for all of her great work. I'm Alex Ferrario. Have a great rest of your weekend. Blues take down the Islanders 2-1. We'll talk to you on Monday for Blues and Rangers right here on the St. Louis Blues Radio Network.
Thanks for listening to the First Community Credit Union Blues postgame show.
Presented by Scott Lee Heating Company.